Good evening, good evening. It is 8 o'clock, and I am here with the fierce and the fabulous. Of course, I have the wonderful Serenity with me, and I have Marcella, the wonderful and fierce as well. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm so excited to have them because these are some brilliant young folk who are managing, yes, the beast called COVID. And we've been and so as you know, like this whole entire month, I've been talking about reopening, like reopening and what that looks like for schools at this present moment. And I mean, what better people to talk to than the ones who are in school? And I mean, I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know if it's, fun, or if it's fear. But I mean, Marcella, tell me, like, what is it for you? Is it fear or fun? What's going on? Or is it both?
Um, well, I definitely think it's more of both. But I guess I'm not like afraid of getting COVID. I'm mostly afraid of like
Mhm.
isolation. Um, so like I actually haven't come back yet. I go back like in a week, 1 week. But I'm really looking forward to that because I think it'll be like a better social experience.
Mhm.
Because I'm an extrovert and I hate being alone in my room in school. So yeah.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, I can only imagine what it's doing to an extrovert. I'm an extrovert myself, right? It's funny because I'm like in between. I'm the extrovert and introvert. Like there's only certain things that I want to do that way.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, like yeah, what is it for you, Serenity? Is it a lot of fear or fun?
So personally, I think it's that part really is for what the teachers do for us, because you have the teachers who really just don't care and they're just throwing stuff at you just to do it because they don't have anything to do. And then you have the teachers who truly want to make it fun for you. So it honestly really just depends on the type of teacher you have.
I agree. I mean, it's funny because when I was teaching, I used to teach in DC and also taught in Baltimore, and I taught in New York. I've been a little bit of everywhere. Uh, and I think it's interesting because I always, even as an art teacher, I never wanted to give work that was just busy. Like, so I can imagine that, and I think it is a conversation between both, teacher and student. So that's good, and this idea of isolation that that Marcella brought up, and the idea that, of course, like, what does good teaching practice look like? What one of the other things, like, first of all, like, just because, I mean, of course, this is the, like, my audience, I mean, we don't know, but, like, so Marcella, you're in middle school?
Yeah, 7th grade.
Okay, and you're in the DC metro area, right?
Yeah, kind of more like Montgomery. I'm in Montgomery County.
Okay, cool. So, and you said, now, when did they open up?
Well, I'm actually 7th grade and 10th grade are the very last people to go back, and I'm in the very last group of the very last people to go back. So I go back on the 26th, but everyone else will already be in school by then.
Hmm.
So they've been going back last week and this week. Like,
Okay. Are you ready for that?
yeah, I am excited.
What about you, Serenity?
Um, I go back next year for my junior year.
Oh, hold on. So you're off for like the whole entire year?
So considering my mom
I,
works with cancer patients and she gets more information on the COVID, she decided that it's better for us to just finish the year off online and then go back when I can start brand new, because when COVID started, I was in a different school. So I was a freshman and now I'm a sophomore and I'm just now, so my first year in the school, we wanted it to just be the start.
yeah. Wow. Here's a tough. I got a tough question. I'm coming for you. Here you go.
Okay.
How has the experience of being online, has it changed what you want to be when you grow up? Has it changed the way you think about your future? Like, what? Think about that for a minute, because I know that's a little layered. Because I know you probably had some goals, but has this experience with COVID changed the way you think about yourself in the future and what you want to be in the future? That's the question.
Personally, I don't think it's affected me that much to change the goals that I have, because then again, I can say since the start of online school and quarantine, I feel I have pushed myself more than what I was doing before, because I know when I was in middle school, I had a lot of distractions around me. And like I went to summer school my whole middle school year, and then now I'm just now getting and picking myself up. I haven't failed any quarters yet. So personally, I think I like where I'm at now than where I was before. So I think it's given me bigger goals than the goals that I had before.
What about you, Marcella?
I kind of agree. I don't think it's changed much for me. I think what has impacted me more is my teachers this year. I hate to say it, but I liked my teachers last year so much better. And like, I guess now it's just everything feels more mundane. But I don't think that's caused me to change my personal goals, really.
Yeah. This is so, as we talk about personal goals, what I know both of you have taught, in many ways are thinking about college and stuff like that. But like, what do you really like hope to be? What is that goal?
Well, for me, for a while, it was an author. Especially in fourth grade and fifth grade, I loved writing short stories and fictional stories. I hate nonfiction. Yeah, I'm not a nonfiction person. But I guess now I would prefer to be something more like a lawyer. I have good argumentative skills. I was top of my debate class. And maybe a scientist, because I don't know, I think that's so cool, and like exploring things and like that type of stuff.
That's cool. I love that. What about you, Serenity?
So since COVID started, I found myself enjoying cosmetology, and that's something that I really like to study. Like, I watch a lot of videos on it. I bought a bunch of makeup for myself to just teach myself new things. But it's between cosmetology and the fashion, because I feel like there's more benefits to it. You can meet famous people and you can work your way up there. But then also, biology is my favorite subject. So I really like the study of biology and any type of science. I'm going into anatomy next year, and to see how I like that too. So, but I did sign my advanced career application to study cosmetology.
This is so funny because like I'm thinking about myself and I'm like, okay, so I would have never expected to be I kind of expected to be an artist, but I did not know how many things that I would turn into as being an artist. Like literally, like you turn into things, like no lie. So like you'll start off with one thing and then you'll turn something else. Then you start off with something else and you're turning like that's the most powerful thing about being kind of a human being. And it's funny because like between the both of you, I think it's really interesting that y'all share in this idea of science. But like for me, I wanted to be a lawyer at one point. And I really, really like the idea of being a lawyer because I always thought because I like to interpret and look at like words, which is what, I like to do. Right now, I'm even, focusing on it. I can really see why you would want to bridge like being an author and maybe a lawyer too at the same time. And right. And also like this idea of science, like, and once you choose like your area of science, you'll see like you might be interested in forensics, right? And that would be interesting. And then like Serenity, like fashion, like fashion and cosmetology, like all day, every day. But then, right, like you might fall in love with chemistry because you'll need to know how to use that, right? So it's like really, really fun to think about. Like those are the things that y'all are going. So it seems like in many ways this is opened y'all up. This is like that's kind of like your reopening. Like y'all have been opened up to new possibilities about yourself, and that's really cool. What are you ready for a real like official physical social reopening?
Well, actually, because my mom is a minister, I've been to quite a few like a lot of person like gatherings, and it's quite tiring, especially because like it's been like a while since we've done anything like that, and like I said, I am an extrovert, but like I can't stay there for more than like 3 hours without feeling really tired.
Yeah.
But I think if we take it kind of slowly, I think that'll be good. And then eventually, though, it can be like more of a full scale reopening.
Taking it slow. What do you think, Serenity?
Since I'm new to the school, I think I'm gonna feel a lot more fear because, like I've said, like a lot of social anxiety.
Yeah.
And I already keep like a really small group because I don't socialize with like a lot of people, especially more than once, because then I'll just like I won't know what to turn my attention to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of those, if I find the right people to like be around, then I'll be okay. But other than that, if I'm like around a bunch of people that I definitely do not know, then I'll just like you'll see a completely different person because I'll just be really quiet and you won't understand because you'll be like, well, who's that?
Yeah. Hold on, I got a siren coming through, of course. But I think one of the thing, that's those are really good points. Like the idea of like how important it is to have community in this time, and how important it is to have even a closer companionship, right? Where community can change to companionship and bring us into better relationships. I'm thinking about this, and I wanted to know what when you think about where you are now. Of course, we talked about your future. We've talked about like what schools you're in. Personally, what part of yourself has improved? What part of yourself has improved? Is it patience? I love it. Is it kindness? I don't know. Like if you were to think about like what part, if there were, two things that increased, right? What happened for you that got better personally?
I guess I would say like I've gotten more honest. Like now that everyone's together, and by everyone I mean immediate family, obviously people aren't together. I feel like I've opened up a lot more to them. I've become like more honest. So yeah.
Okay, more honest. What you got? What do you think is Serenity? What has increased for you?
Kind of like what I stated before, my goals. That's definitely an increase for me. Because I've always wanted to do how I'm doing now, which is like passing, no more phone calls to my mom or like getting in trouble like I used to, and like having like a good image like to my teachers and stuff. So that was a big increase for me, and like I'm happy with where I'm at now.
I like that. There's something really powerful about the fact that both of you have figured out a way to like through honesty and through like reinforced ambition have figured out a way to reclaim your stories. Like that is a fortunate gift because I did not have that when I was younger. To be able at even your ages to be able to like have my story as it is and be like, oh, I can be honest. Like I was scared, even if I didn't like something, to be honest, because I didn't want somebody to get their feelings hurt. Or I was so nervous about all the things that I wanted to do, thinking that they were impossible, right? And like, I mean, Marcella, you bring up like the idea that things become a little mundane. Like, what last? You know, our kind of the last question. As we get to the end of this, what do you tell yourself every morning or every day, knowing that you're gonna be on a Zoom for 3 hours or more? What do you tell yourself before, and so that will help you make it through? What do you say?
Well, first, I just want to say it's much more than 3 hours. It's like 6 hours. But I guess what I would say to myself is that it'll be over soon because I don't dislike it. I mean, I guess I do dislike it, but it's not that it's terrible. It's that it's not great. And so, like, I enjoy the 10-minute breaks I have between classes. And, like, I guess I kind of tell myself, like, one more day until the weekend or something like that.
What do you tell yourself every look? Serenity's like, I don't know. I don't want to tell him. I don't want to say it.
No. Mine really just depends on how I wake up in the morning. Because I'll have my days where I wake up in an energetic mood and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do these missing assignments, and then sometimes I'll never do them, and then there's those days where it's like, I'm not going to this class, I'm going to sleep. But then there's the days where I'm just like, okay, you got to think about it. There's one more marking period left. The summer's almost here. You can get it together. You've been doing good this whole time. There's no need to quit now. So it really just depends on how I wake up in the morning or how I'm woken up in the morning. If I'm woken up, like, screamed at, like, Serenity, you got to go to school, I'm going to wake up in one of those moods where it's like, as soon as you leave out this house, I'm not going to class.
All right.
So, yeah, it really just depends.
I hear you. Are you showing up in pajamas?
No.
Or are you getting dressed for class?
I do not get dressed, and we are not forced to have our cameras on, so I don't really have to.
Yeah, I was about to say, it doesn't really matter. No one ever has their camera on. All the Zoom calls are like, cameras off, everyone's muted except for the teacher.
Oh my gosh. Y'all are like lucky. I haven't even yeah, it's funny because I teach college, right? So I'm like all of my, like, I have have forced them to turn on their cameras. I'm probably a bad teacher for that. But I'm like, I don't care if they're laying in the bed though and doing their work or like being in class with me. But you cannot like be showing up in like and not have your cameras on. But I totally I hear this. So I will be more lenient about pajamas and no cameras.
Well, I
Otherwise,
think about it, honestly,
mhm.
some of the teachers are one of those teachers who don't even keep you for the full class period. They just explain the work and tell you to go if you want to.
Mm.
So sometimes there's really no point in just getting yourself all dressed just for to have those teachers that are just like, okay, here's your assignment. You can go if you want, but if you need help, just come back.
Wow. So is that the same thing for you, Marcella?
Yeah, I have one teacher like that, and honestly, I really just like it. But like you can tell which teachers that you like based on the amount of cameras are on.
Mhm.
Like my science teacher, I love my science teacher, and probably maybe a third of the class has their cameras on for that. And then for like English, there's one person.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really cool. So y'all have a little bit of autonomy. Like
Yeah.
y'all can independently. Wow, that's a big form of maturity. I love that. I love that. That's really really good. I would never thought about that. I thought y'all were like sitting and working, throughout the entire class like that. So y'all become these like independent people. Look at y'all. Y'all need to get paid. Working independently.
Yeah, a
uh,
lot of the teachers, a lot of the teachers you can really tell the ones who care compared to who really don't. Because, like my English teacher, so when it was just all people online and nobody was in school yet, he was one of those people who would get really sad if he didn't see somebody with their camera on, or if they didn't interact, or if they didn't unmute themselves to talk. So, and you can hear it in his voice, and he'll get like, you can hear the irritation, but then you have those teachers who are just like, well, if you feel there's nothing else for you to do, you can just go. Like my biology teacher, he's one of those people who give you your space if he feels you'll work better with being outside of the team's meeting.
Oh, I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I already know me. I'm your English teacher. I'm the one that's like, nobody showed up today. I am. I'm like, nobody wanted to learn today. Why is nobody? How come you're not asking any questions? I am that one. I am so guilty. I would be like, does anybody have any questions? And I'll wait.
Yeah,
one of my teachers is the exact opposite. My English teacher, he's nice, but he's not a great teacher. And he'll just be like, "Does anyone have any questions?" No, great.
Right? And then I want to be that teacher, but I feel like there's so much that I'm like, I have to like help you. But I think in many ways, like I think, would you say that it's less about helping and more about collaboration?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Because you like Serenity, you don't want somebody in your space technically. You want the space to do what you do. And Marcella, you sound like, you feel both of y'all feel confident in your abilities to like work independently. And so y'all have figured out, and maybe this is something that physical school has not thought about. Because your teachers would never leave you alone in the classroom, right? Yeah. So this is a time where we actually get a chance to see you wanting to connect and collaborate in the thinking process, in the learning process. Would that be okay to say?
Yeah, it's like sometimes the only part I wish that we were in school with is because I still get assigned for group assignments for English classes. And then I got assigned with this one group. So after I switched our group, I got assigned with this one group who blatantly ignored me. Like when I asked for their emails to put into the Google Doc, nobody gave me their email, so I had to switch back and forth from Teams meeting to get personal emails. And then I ended up typing up both paragraphs by myself. And everybody else was still on the Google Doc, not typing anything. So I told my teacher about it, and luckily he was very understanding of it, saying that if you just finish typing it up yourself, I'll leave them with the half credit, and you get the full credit, because it was 100 out of 200 grade. So I think I missed that when we were in class. I feel people, when they did see the teachers walking around, they felt motivated to at least start something.
Yeah. What about you, Marcella?
Well, group projects suck online. They're terrible. I think that it would be a lot better if you could choose your partners, because you can choose who you think would help you out and do it with you instead of someone who would do nothing. Like, I had this one partner once who wasn't on Google Doc at all and didn't do any of the work. And then when we emailed the teacher about it, he like blatantly denied it. So
yeah. All right. Last question. All right, here we go. We're gonna head out. What is one thing that you miss about being in school physically right now?
Social interaction. I feel like there's zero interaction at all when you're on Zoom. So, like, I'm actually in Romeo and Juliet right now. That's my school's production. I play Tybalt. But she's my director, who was also my teacher last year. Every week she sets up a Zoom hangout for the cast, which is the first thing that I've had like this all year. It's the second play I've been in for this school, but like the rehearsals for that play were just like, we go over what you're going to do today, you do it, and then we leave. So yeah, I think I really, really miss social interaction.
What about you, Serenity?
Mine is social interaction, but also, like I said, biology is my favorite subject, so I definitely miss being in biology class. My favorite class is to be like a hands-on learner, and like I feel, even though biology is still my favorite class, I feel like those are one of the classes where you really have to be present to fully catch on to everything, because there's so much things that like they can present to you, demonstrate to you, and it gets the point across.
Wow. What you know, you're absolutely right, because I remember in biology, I dissected a frog.
Yeah.
And things like that. Like, I think y'all now dissect pigs, little small pigs. You know, I gotta say, y'all just came in and just like gave us some wealth of wisdom, and like, I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be awesome. You know, this is just such an awesome moment. It's such an awesome moment to sit with you both. I'm gonna I just want to know, do y'all mind like kind of like dancing with me a bit as we kind of like leave out, or is that a no? Okay. Yes, we're gonna give a little shoulder sway and stuff. All right, Justice, can we like kick a little bit of the music just so that we can kind of like close out, and we can give everybody a little way, and yes, and like, you know, yes, we're gonna just, you know, kind of have a little moment. But yeah, do you think we could do that for these fabulous wonders who have been like, you know, we just gonna give a little Serenity, thank you. Big wave. Love y'all. Be good. Stay on here for a bit with me, and we're gonna let the audience prove out. Okay. Look, for the rest of you who are watching, keep living. Thank you. Click like and share.